There is charity, and then there's something called mutual aid, and they're as different as a dinner party and a revolution. Charity is noble but limited, and it feeds into the cycle of having this huge wealth inequality. Charity is often regarded as the pinnacle of benevolence, where the more fortunate give their assistance to the less fortunate. Picture this: a fancy gala, pearls, and a check for the poor. Very lovely, very proper. But the thing is, charity is often a one-way street. The giver gives, and the receiver, they hope that they get picked. Essentially, the poor suffer because of capitalism and the wealth inequality. And then charity comes from people that benefit from capitalism, the rich. Now, the rich keep the poor dependent on them for charity, for a problem, poverty, that comes from wealth inequality, which makes this huge divide between salaries and opportunity. Mutual aid is a whole different ball game. That's when folks come together shoulder to shoulder and say, I've got your back if you've got my back. No pity, no pedestal, just people taking care of each other, because at the end of the day, those people recognize that we rise and we fall together. It is not mere charity, it is solidarity, a profound acknowledgement that survival is a collective endeavor, not a solitary feat. And this is not and never been a radical idea. This is actually the very nature of humans. We used to live in tribes, and contrary to what most people think, that it was just a competitive environment all around. But no, humans started becoming civilized and having big ideas and big executions of them once we all got together. We were all equal once. And I also read a story once of how this Russian girl's mom was in this never-ending loop with her neighbor, that they always gave each other food. Like, the mom would bring the neighbor's container back filled up with food, and then the neighbor was like, oh, you should not have done that. And then she filled it up with food again, with her own food, the neighbor, and then gave it back to her mother, and she was like, oh, you should not have done that. And the cycle just kept on repeating, which was so interesting because it really displays Russian and European culture, even, that they really do have a culture of giving and not necessarily expecting something back, but just building on each other, and that makes such a strong community. I would know because I'm part Italian and I'm also Salvadoran, and some of my family still lives there. Their biggest complaints is always that politicians are so rich and that the rich just keep getting richer and the poor even poorer. Like, everyone in El Salvador is poor. You're either super rich or you're super poor. There's barely any middle class. And the rich give donations, but what has helped them survive is community and mutual aid. You give me some tortillas and I'll give you some rice for your children the next day. And that's how we survived over there. That's how we still survive in those sort of countries. It's common pretty much everywhere except the United States, at least the northern United States, because in the South, this is like a super known phenomenon. Like, Southern hospitality, this is the epitome of Southern hospitality, pretty much. When you move in, you're probably gonna get some cake or something from your neighbors. So, while charity might fill an empty stomach, mutual aid nourishes the soul and strengthens the bonds that keep us all together. It would be very illuminating to hear your story, and I'm sure it would be as well to many other people reading it. Please subscribe, please. Mwah.